Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Mount and Blade Bannerlord. Today we're going to be doing another guide. Now we've just done a guide on how to take a castle early on, so the next thing that's needed to know is how to defend a castle early on. Now, I've tried to simulate a defensive battle, so the enemy outnumbers us. They have over double what we have currently. The only defensive equipment we have is ballistas. Now in my experience this is usually what we get given. It's just normally ballistas. Now I've done it so that the enemy has rushed us. They haven't built any siege equipment of their own, but they have got a battering ram and a siege tower. They're also going to have ladders in one of the edges, just to kind of give you a better idea of how to defend against these different ways of attacks. But they've got a battering ram, they've got a siege engine. They don't have any siege equipment. Usually when they massively outnumber you, they don't wait to build all of their siege engines. Most of the time they just attack you. Obviously they can have the support of their own siege engines, and if they seriously have better engineers than you do, they might crack your walls wide open, especially if you've got a larger defensive force. Then they'll take their time in trying to break through your defences. But yes, they have double our number, they have a massive force. And we're going to go ahead and just show you some of the key points in defence. So first off, we need to know which side their siege tower is. I can't actually see it anywhere. I think it's hidden. I think it's that side. Must be that side. We would be able to see it if it was this side. 100%. Yeah, they've got ladders there, so it's on the left side. That's one way you can always check to see which side it is. If you can't see it in this case, I don't know if I'm being really blind. I definitely cannot see it, but they don't have ladders this side. There's just some like mounds of dirt, so they're definitely bringing their siege tower this way, wherever it may be. And obviously they have the battering ram. So the first thing is you want to get your men ready. If you put your men, if you automatically assign them, so say if I put my infantry here, because I know there's a tower coming that way and I want them to defend that side, they won't actually do anything. They will just stand there. So even if that siege tower lands this side, they will stay here, meaning that the enemy can go and do as they wish. So one way to rectify this is if you just auto-deploy, and what that will do is that will turn on delegating commands for your troops, which is F6 normally. What that will do is it means your troops take command of their own formation. So if the enemy attacks here, then a small group of these forces will rush over to defend this part of the wall by themselves. I don't have to command them. So that's the first thing we want to do, is we want to make sure that everyone has their own commands. The archers are going to take up firing positions on the walls. Everyone's going to man our ballistas and start firing away at the enemies. We have a basic force. We have more of a focus on infantry, so we have just more infantry and slightly less archers. Again, to try and make it seem as realistic as possible, because that's again what you would want. So we've got a bigger force of infantry and cavalry and a very small force of archers. In a good siege, you'd want a hell of a lot more archers. In a good defence, sorry. But yeah, we're going to go ahead, we're going to rush into it, we're going to jump down here, begin the assault and get into our defensive positions, but everyone should automatically run and take the positions they need, especially our archers. They'll get straight on the wall and start firing away. But one thing I want to point out, guys, is always use your fortress's defensive systems. Whether you've built siege equipment or not, doesn't matter. You have rocks on the walls, use them. Use every single little thing you can to your advantage. Especially when you're outnumbered, you just use it all, especially in one like this. Usually when I defend a fort, I like to pick an area where the enemy can only attack me from one angle. In this fortress, that's not the case. There's nowhere you can go where they're going to have one angle on you. So straight away, we're going to use the furthest thing that we can, because their battering ram is going to have the most men behind it. It's probably the most important siege equipment they have. We're going to go ahead, jump on a ballista and just start picking off some targets on their battering ram. So we're going to head to the top of this tower, jump on the ballista, see if we can get a few good kills before they move out of range. We'll only have a few shot windows, probably 2 or 3 shots we'll be able to get off. That's it. Honestly, not many at all, but it's more than nothing. See, we can't quite aim, so it's out of range at the moment. So what we can do is we can try and take a few shots, see if we can hit that battering ram, the siege tower over there. I doubt we will. Very long range. If you're a good shot, better than me anyway, you'll be able to hit some of those troops. Typical ballista bolt will kill 2, 3, maybe even 4 of their men. So it's a very good weapon. Damn it, hit the wall there. That's a wasted shot. I tried to go too early then. If I just waited another second, they would have been in the perfect range. Not to worry, I should get another shot off there. I hit it again. This is not going well. This is a really not a good example, boys. Let's load that arrow and hopefully we can get at least one shot off. No, it looks like I've ruined it. I missed both my shots. Poor example. Right, so we've done what we could there. Unfortunately, not very much. So now we're going to rush over to the next part of the wall to try and defend. So they're going to be in this little ramp here, this little valley. And somewhere along your own wall you'll find a little rock pile. Just grab those rocks and start throwing. They're honestly so overpowered, it's ridiculous. Find a pile, grab a rock, lob it at your enemy. They're quite out of range at the moment, so we shouldn't be able to hit them, but what we can do is, you know, break part of the roof of that battering ram. It means our archers can kill a few lot more of the men pushing it. Let's go ahead and throw a rock there. Might be a little shy. It's just a little shy, so we need to try and aim up a little bit more. Sometimes it can glitch out when you're trying to grab a rock, it's very annoying. But we can just aim up a little bit, lob that. Ah, still out of range, don't believe it. This is not going too well and I can't pick up a rock. This is fantastic. Oh, come on mate. Are you taking the piss? Fantastic. So far we've killed nobody. But our archers are doing a really good job. They're picking off the enemy targets. Picking off quite a lot of them. Another position to get rocks. I know I've not provided a very good example. Hopefully this will go better. It's going to be very, very frustrating sometimes. There we go. That's why you use rocks. When they work like a bloody charm. Look at that. I don't even know how that's 8 kills per rock. Will you pick up the damn rock? Jesus Christ. Somebody fix this, please. This is infuriating. Oh my god, come on. They're going to break through the gate before I can pick up another rock. I think they've broken through. Well, that was pointless. Oh, we might be able to get one more off. There we go. A couple more of them dead there. Yeah, these rock piles are being very annoying. They shouldn't always be like this. This is just like a rare occasion. They will completely glitch out and can't use them properly. Hopefully that does not happen for you as it's happening for me. Otherwise they are very, very useful to use. I'm going to go ahead and get our infantry ready to charge. As soon as that wall breaks, we want to hold them in here so we can use the rocks as best as we can. So we want our infantry to try and push them as much as possible. There we go, push them back against the enemy. We can keep throwing some rocks and killing a whole load of them. We even got their leader there. See, when we can actually pick them up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realise my men pushed through so effectively. Nearly killed a whole bunch of my own men. Right, we've managed to beat them away from the gate. We've charged them out, we've pushed them back, killed a whole bunch of them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to charge and we're going to try and take out their other siege engines. In all their other positions, their men are going to be focused on scaling the walls in different places. Also, we've got all of their hundreds and hundreds of archers to deal with as well. So if we charge with our main formation that was defending the gate, we can go ahead and take out a huge chunk of their archers, if not all of their archers, and start to pick off the troops trying to climb the ladders. Because what's amazing about these guys is they do not care that we're here. Some of them are going to fight back, but they're going to stay in their little formation. Most of them won't charge out, a couple of them might, but then you just drag them over to your formations. I was a bit eager, I run ahead, but now my guys are coming to help out. We're all going to hit them in the flank. Only a few of them are going to run out and help the men. And we can just get in there and start whacking them. They're going to try and climb those ladders, not be useful at all. If we can kill this group here, then we've secured 2 sides out of the 3 of the castle. And we've still got this huge formation of our own infantry left. Like, look at that, they're absolutely slaughtering them. The enemy's barely getting a chance to fight back here. Like I said, we want to use the castle to our advantage. They're going to try and scale it. We've defended the gate. We know we've defended the gate because we killed them all there. We've pushed through. And now we're just charging out, destroying the rest of the groups of their formations. Our archers are still firing away. And our infantry is working hard here. As you can see, our men are scattered about the field as well. They're not just all over there. They're running around, taking out the enemy. We managed to secure. We've kept most of our men in the same sort of place because we wanted them to be able to do this. You want them to be able to charge out effectively and attack the enemy outside of the castle, not just defend from the inside. We want to flank them as much as possible. A lot of our men are now climbing the ladders because the enemy's moved up there as well. So, not the best, but they're still coming. They're going to run in and try and clear out the castle as best they can. So obviously we've still got the one other side where the siege tower is. Those were just the ladders. And we could have defended that from the inside, but then what that would have meant is the enemy was coming directly at us, charging at us. Whereas this way we can flank round them, save as many men as we possibly can, because our numbers mean everything here. And what we want to do, we've got this one guy, is brilliant. He's trying to take out this battering ram. What a lad. Good man. So yeah, we use the rocks. Obviously, like I said, you use those natural defences that the game gives you. Those rocks, everything. The ladder forks, if that's where most of your enemies are coming from, they're coming up the ladders. Use those forks. Defend using the capabilities that your castle gives you. Obviously, our men are defending themselves pretty well. There's only a couple of them here. Like I said, all of my men were pretty much with me defending the front gate. So we've only got a couple of guys here. But like I said, again, we've got the rocks. In this case, they're actually explosive weapons, so that one rock has just forced them all to charge. That's just killed a whole bunch of them there. And then my men are going to chase them down. But if you wanted, you could even take the siege towers out, or at least try your best. Try and take them out, blow them up. It does a decent bit of damage. It would take quite a while to take it down. You could even chop it up and force your enemy to assault from one position. But usually try and focus on the gate, I'd say. If you can't defend properly, if you know you're outnumbered, you know you're outmatched, then you've got to pick one angle. You've got to pick one place, in this case the main gate, defend it. Use those rocks, kill all the men before they even attack your troops. Drop those rocks on them, use those ballistas, use the catapults if you're lucky enough to build catapults. Take out the men before they get in. Once you've killed them all, charge out. Use a force, a good enough force. Leave a good enough force behind as well so that they can actually defend the other entry points. Don't need too many, especially not with ladders, especially not with siege towers. At the current stage in the game, ladders are actually more effective than siege towers in some cases. Your men just struggle to climb up them. So yeah, make sure you charge out, you kill their archers, you wipe them out so that your archers can focus on the infantry. You're also clearing the playing field, and then you can flank the enemy, absolutely annihilate them because they're focused on climbing up the ladders, and you come over here and you just hit them in the flanks. Hit them straight from behind. They're not going to defend themselves, they're not going to charge against you or run out. They're just going to keep trying to climb up those ladders and ignore you. So use it to your advantage. Use every bit of the castle. As you can see, had I got those shots off of the blisters, had the game let me pick up more of those rocks, I would have dealt massive more casualties on the enemy. If I picked up every rock that I meant to, honest to God, I would have killed so many more of them. I would have taken out so many more of the enemy. So make sure that you do that as well. Just use everything you can. Use the furthest point of your castle wall and start hitting them. So from that very corner, you just start whittling down their numbers all the way across. Before they even get to touching your men, before they even get close to getting to that gate, you should have killed a decent chunk of them. Use every single inch of your castle and your land to your advantage. And then, like I said, the moment they break through this gate, don't sit there and wait for them. Don't hold a shield wall. Charge. You've got to charge forward, push them back, drive them out of your fortress, and then start to hit them in the flanks in their other defensive positions. We still have a decent chunk of our force left. Looks like we've got about half left. Yeah, massive. They lost 456. They killed half of our men roughly. We've still got roughly half. We had just over half of what they had, but the quality of about the same. They had a mixed army, just under half archers, and then the rest were infantry, cavalry. We had horse archers, infantry, and cavalry. I don't think we had any normal standard archers. But yeah, obviously I know if you take a fortress, you're going to have varying numbers, but this works for different kinds of numbers. I mean, if you're looking at a force of like 400, 500 men coming to attack you, and you've got a force of 80, you don't have much of a choice unless you have the strategic advantage inside of your castle, or if they're only coming from one entry point, then you might stand a chance. Otherwise, you have to push the fight to them. You've got to move quickly, try and kill as many as you can, and push against them. But yeah, you've just got to use everything to your advantage. but never charge all of your men out of the fortress, otherwise they will all just charge against you. Make sure you keep some men behind and just take a small force with you to attack them. If you've got less men, I'd suggest going after their archers first. Once you've done that, then join your men to take out the sieging infantry and cavalry, because otherwise the archers will just pick you off from behind. But like I said, you've got all the stone piles all over the place. You've got your ballistas or catapults, whichever you have. Just make sure you use everything. Don't sit in one position for too long though. Make sure you move it about and you're hitting men from every different angle. As long as you're whittling down numbers on each of their defensive equipment, you should be okay. The more you can reduce their numbers, the more of a chance you'll have at winning. But yeah, I hope this helped, guys. I hope this has answered some of your questions. If you've got any more questions about defensive capabilities, this is like one fort of loads. I know every single fort is different, but you've just got to look for those advantages that your fortress gives you, that your castle is giving you, and use it. You have forks to push off ladders. You can use them to keep men off your wall. If you have a breach in the wall, again, the enemy doesn't usually go for it until they've broken the main gate or you've taken out their battering ram, and then they'll start going through the breach. At the moment in the game, they don't usually target it, they don't usually push through it, but otherwise just keep a small group of men there, just enough that they can hold a shield wall and push the men from actually getting through it. But you never need to leave too many men at a breach. Generally, if you have a breach, it won't be looking too good. But it's not impossible. You can always win. You just got to find a way. Got to use the tactics, use the land, use your strategy, and try and take out as many of them as you can. Because the most important player on this field is you. You need to get every single bit of equipment and just start killing those enemies, bringing them down as much as humanly possible. But yeah, smaller forts are probably easier to defend. Larger forts are a lot harder, especially if you've got smaller numbers. Towns are even harder to defend with small groups. But yeah, it is possible, guys. Like I said, if you've got any questions, let me know down in the comments below. If you want to see anything else, or if you've got any suggestions, tips, questions, anything like that, then let me know. And yeah, no, get on me, guys. Seriously, be active down in the comments. If you've got anything to say, go ahead and say it down there, please, and I'll reply to you as quickly as I can. As soon as I see it, I'll reply to it. But yeah, also join the Discord server. It should be in the banner, and I'll start putting it in the descriptions as well. Make sure you join that, and you can ask me any questions or anything like that as well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I really do. If you want to see any more guides, let me know. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button as well, just so you can keep up to date with all the content that's going to be coming out. I'm going to be releasing loads more guides, and obviously got a few playthroughs of Mount & Blade and other games coming out as well. So check them out. Hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's helped. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye.